We are watching the great ascension drama, the battle between love and fear. And so, time marches on, and we have reached November the 24th, 2020, and what spectacular times we are living in. We who are awake, we have the privilege and the pleasure of watching the great stage play of the planet Earth awakening. We see firsthand how the two forces, the two combatants, the light and the dark, are in opposition to each other, how the dark is desperately lying, desperately hoping to keep the status quo, to keep its power, so that humanity will stay in the dark. Oh yes, humanity has, in this third-dimensional, low-frequency earthly paradigm, been very much in ignorance of the truth of his human journey. This earthly journey of divine souls ensconced in human bodies has been so designed that we have no memory of the great beings we are. If we did remember that we are great multidimensional souls, part of our divine spirit family, we would not be able to play this human game. We would not be able to be actors on this planet Earth schoolroom stage. We would not be able to feel put down and denigrated, controlled and manipulated into fear and all its negative emotions. We have told this story many times, but it bears repetition. Understand this. Integrate this into your very being. Know this from your heart. You are great divine beings, souls, drops of consciousness in the ocean of God consciousness, fragments of the divine. In your heavenly connectedness, in the sharing of divine love, in being a part of divine essence, you heard the call that planet Earth and its human inhabitants were in trouble. They were so deeply admired, so cast down by their controllers, by the dark ones, that they could not release themselves from that entrainment. They were indoctrinated into illogical, painful, hurtful, divisive behaviors that kept them in the eternal round of karma. Karma, the totality of a person's actions that decides their future fate. Humans live their lives in a perpetual and perpetuating round of negative experiences in dark and honorously difficult and depressing lifetimes. The controllers, those that played the part of the devil, the part of evil, knew so well how to manipulate and maneuver mankind into behaving according to their desires, according to their behest. They orchestrated the setting up of duality systems, religion, sexuality, skin color, national pride, language, finances, education. Any and all systems were organized to control and separate humanity, to have them dislike and disrespect anyone that looked different or behaved differently. Rules and regulations were introduced as morality. Prohibitions were put in place, such as do not marry outside your race. Adultery and divorce are sinful. Men are superior to women. Whites are superior to blacks. The rich are better than the poor. And so on goes the litany of negative ideas we had about each other. And our individual self-esteem, our self-aggrandizement, came from these imposed, prejudiced, judgmental ideas. Ideas that we took as our own philosophy of life. Ideas that our ego integrated into itself as our personality. So, inevitably, we lived in separation and division and contempt of each other. For our indoctrinated education, our entrainment was so strong, our egos so adopted this cultural morality that we believed that we and only we had the real truth of how it was right to behave. And we coerced different cultures into behaving as we behaved, into following our imposed rules and regulations. Love, spirituality, kindness, caring, compassion and joy went out the window. Was the behavior right according to the imposed rules and regulations? Was the only question that merited consideration. Justice, love, and compassion wore a blindfold. And as the years went by, as eons of time went by, the rules and regulations became more and more constricting, stressful, and confining. Humans were so entrenched in their individual belief systems, in their imposed reality, that few could escape from this hypnotic trance. Yet planet Earth follows a cycle of rotation through the universe. There are low energy and high energy alignments that take place during that cycle. And now, in this November 2020, we are in a rare place in the positioning of universal forces. The Divine has designated this time and place in rotation as the time and place for the ascension of planet Earth and humanity from the low vibrational hypnotic dream state into which it has fallen. It is time for the Great Awakening, time for mankind to return to love, time for him to see the true nature of his life, time for him to release all that he has experienced, the great fear, the great loneliness, the great confusion and chaos that humanity has felt in order for him to grow himself, to grow his great spirit in love and light. That great fear must now be released. It is time to leave this deception perception, to leave this planet Earth schoolroom behind and return to love, to return to being the great and magnificent part of divinity that we really are. And to do this, we must release our entrainment, our indoctrination. We must look clearly and logically at the chaos that surrounds us. We must look at the deeds of the dark ones and see their perfidy and their lies and how we have been fooled, tricked into dark and negative behaviors. The truth will set us free. We must question everything. We must examine every one of our ideas and ask if it is loving, or is it divisive and judgmental, and so has it been imposed by our controllers? Yet many of our brethren are so entrenched in their indoctrination, they are so believing the perfidious words, the outrageous lies that the control system is telling them, that they cannot see the light. How to convince them? This is happening now. The great human drama of enlightenment is playing out right in front of our eyes. This, dear hearts, dear souls, is what you came to Earth to experience. You came here to watch this great drama play out. As the love energy is poured upon the Earth, the dark ones, the controllers, have become desperate and they are behaving more and more outrageously. This will awaken many of your brethren as they at last begin to question the words of authority. For with their eyes they have seen one picture, and with their ears they hear a constant denial of what they see with their eyes. Cognitive dissonance sets in. The inconsistency of deeds and words becomes apparent, and mankind awakens slowly from his deception perception to the realization that he has been duped. And then, glorious indeed, for then he is on the path to reclaiming the memory of his true divinity, and that this planet Earth experience has been a schoolroom to learn greater love. This is a spectacular time indeed. You, our wonderful Lightworker brethren, are feeling stronger and stronger each day in your knowing and feeling light and love flow through you. You are being raised increasingly each day out of the mire of the dark entrainment into the light and love of divinity itself. You are knowing and feeling that you are a part of God. Love yourselves intensely and immensely. Talk to your holy inner being, your divine soul. Commune with it, for that love, that light, is what you truly are. The two forces, the light and the dark, the combatants, the divine and the devil, are in a last great battle. You are seeing it play out. It is wonderful indeed. The best is yet to come, dear friends. The best is yet to come, for the light has won. And now it is fascinating to see how the light forces have designed the situation so that the dark ones, in their desperation, must show their hand, must reveal their nefarious plans. Be at peace, dear ones. The end of this drama is very close. Great revelations are to come in but a few weeks. Release is very close, and at last you will be able to speak freely, and your words will be balm to confused and disturbed ears, balm to your brethren's painful wounds. You, our dear ones, have lived the planet Earth life. You have learned greater love by experiencing fear, and now you are ready to help your brethren, to help mankind to graduate. Again, the best is yet to come, dear brethren. The best is yet to come. That was Aita, channeling her higher self. We are blessed beings, indeed.